Hi guys, ergonomic gadgets for everyday use is what everyone is looking for today, and SelfCAD can help you stay trendy. So today we want to share a new idea for your kitchen folding colander. This model is easy to create, quick to print, and so comfortable to use. Using flexible plastic makes it unbreakable and extends its life. Learn more in our new tutorial and customize your kitchen with SelfCAD. Let's get started by creating the central part. Switch to top view and orthographic projection to get a clear view of the canvas. Open 3D sketch, select rectangular brush. To start drawing, zoom into the center of the grid, and since we have the exact measurements, I will enter them directly into the text box on the bottom left of the viewport. Set -32.5 on X, -22.5 on Z, and press enter to apply. Now do the same on the other side, set 32.5 on X, and leave -22.5 on Z, then set 45 as width. Now we need to make the colander wall. Turn on copy offset and apply, and move the copy to 70 on X, so we have two rectangles with 5mm distance between them. To modify the shape on the right side of the wall, use 3D sketch to add more details to the object. Click on the left vertex, enter 45 length and 330 as angle, and move the line to create the angle on the other side, and enter 45 as length and 30 as angle. This part is ready. Now we need to create an object from which we will cut out the hole in the first wall. Open freehand drawing, switch off hide all objects option to see what we already have. Select rectangular brush and turn on minimum step size and set it to 5. Draw a rectangle with 30 on one side and 10 on the other. Now select circle brush and draw on top and bottom parts of the rectangle so we made smooth edges of it. Also draw a circle in the center of the right rectangle side. Now let's convert all profiles into 3D objects. For that, switch back to perspective mode for a more realistic view of the workspace and select the wall profile. To convert it into a 3D model, first use the fill polygons to create the base, then use the extrusion option with 3.5 as a mount to create the edges, and then use again fill polygon to fill the other side. Next, move the wall object up so that the object we created with the freehand drawing will intersect it properly. Then use stitch and scoop with option difference, select the drawing in the drop down. Now move it to 0 on Y and rename the wall to 1. Repeat the same moves with the central object. Use the fill polygon tool, then extrusion with value 3.5, and then fill polygon again to close the bottom side. Now let's create a copy of the existing wall. To create a copy of the shapes, we can use copy offset. It allows you to easily create customized copies. We will copy it according to the central point pivot. There is no need to using other settings. Pivot will be enough for the shape to reflect on the other side, just like we need. The other two walls of the colander are a little different. We need to select the central profile and make a copy of it with position option and the copy offset. We need to move it by 50 on Z, set the view to top, projection to orthographic, then use scale tool, choose advanced settings, switch on symmetry option and scale on 70 on the X, select 3D sketch and use line mode. Then click on the bottom right corner and set length to 20, angle to 330. Snap the line to the other angle and move it to the other side. Now click on the bottom left angle and set the same length, but change angle to 210. This is how our second part looks like. Now let's make the corners. For that, first deselect the wall so we make a new profile and set minimum step size to 5 to get better precision. Start on the following position, 55 on X and 60 on Z. Then move to 73 on X and 48 on Z. Now 37 on X and 25 on Z. And last point needs to be placed on 36 on X and 26 on Z, and then close the line. Now to convert the second wall into a 3D object, we'll do the same procedure we did before. Go back to perspective projection, select the wall profile and use fill polygon, and perform extrusion with 3.5 as the amount, and then again apply fill polygon to close the bottom part. Now let's make a copy of the second wall. Use copy offset, pivot option with no value set, so we have a mirrored copy. We are done with the walls. Let's create the flexible parts that will make the objects movable. You can already see how the object is coming together. First, we need to create the flexible dividers between the walls and the center parts. Create a cube with 45 width and 1 as height, 7 as depth, and apply. Then move it up by 2.5 on Y and 25 on Z so that we can place it between the walls and central parts. Use copy offset with pivot option to create a copy, make another copy and rotate it by 90 on Y angle. Move it on 0 on Z and on 35 on X. Use scale tool and set 35 on Z, then make a copy again. Now let's convert the corners into 3D objects. We'll do the same as we did before. Select the corner profiles, use fill polygons, then extrusion with 3.5 as the amount, and then apply fill polygons again. Because this mechanism is complex, we need to create special fastenings. Create a cube with 12 as width, 3 as height, and 7 as depth. Isolate the object so nothing else distracts us. This object needs to fit perfectly, so we need to add a rectangular cavity. Create another cube with width 2.1, depth 9.16, and height 3. Move the smaller rectangular by 6 on X and select the bigger one as well. Apply merge to combine the two objects. Now we need to create a similar object but a little bigger because we need to create an empty space around our main object. And to do this we need the same shape but bigger, so let's create a copy selecting position options to create a copy in the same place. Use isolate to show only this object. Activate polygon selection on the selection cube and select the polygon just like I'm showing right now. Then using scale, make it larger by 3.5 on x-axis, select the entire object and set Z to 11. Unhide both fastenings and apply scale to 1.5 on x-axis to both objects. Those simple transformations allow us to cut hole an appropriate size. Now show all objects and move the selected 2 to the corner, then move this one by 2 on y-axis and rotate by 160 on y as well, and move again a little forward, unselect and select the bigger one, rename it as difference so that it's easy to find later. Select another smaller and rename it in connector. Now we need to place flexible connectors between walls and corners. For that, select one of the flexible connectors and create a copy. Then place it between the corner and the wall and rotate it by 330 on the y-axis. Perform copy offset position option again, rotate the copy as well. Now let's make the difference object a little bigger. Set 6 on Y and create a cube to create holes where the fastening goes. Set 3.5 as width so fastenings will fit in better and 10 as depth. Following the exact measurements is important if you want our calendar to assemble after print. So first move it by 22 on X and by 61 on Z. Now select the fastenings and select right bottom origin in the move tool. This allows you to change the object pivot point. Now as you can see we have 22.5 as X, so we need to set the same value in our rectangle. Select the hole and the fastenings, rename those parts. Now we need to place all corners with fastenings and holes around the wall. To do this, select one of the fastenings and copy. Change Z value to -44.3 in Move tool. Group those objects and use mirror with back and front value. Group two sides and apply copy offset again with settings -47.22 on X in the Move tool. Use mirror with left right option this time. Now ungroup everything. Now select the walls and the rectangles on the walls, use Stitch and Scoop with difference, selecting rectangles in the drop-down, select fastenings and the wall with holes, select difference, selecting fastenings in the drop-downs. Make sure you switch on keep subtracted objects after cut, so the objects are not removed after subtraction. Now we need to create holes for the colander. For that, create a cylinder setting 2 as radiuses and 100 as height. Use copy offset with 3 as the number of copies and 9 as X value. Now set 1 copy, 0 to position, and using move tool set -18 as X. Then select all cylinders we have and use copy offset again, setting 2 to the number of copies and 9 as Z. Then set 1 to number of copies and 0 to Z. Invert Z value in the move tool, making it -13.5, and here's our results. Now select the second row of cylinders and 5 central ones from the first row, copy them and position on the wall. Copy the existing set of cylinders with pivot option to get the same number on the other wall. Now we need to add cylinders to the other walls. As they are smaller, we will need 3 for the first row and 5 for the second. Copy them and move by -47.5 on x-axis. Apply copy offset with pivot again. Now let's add a logo. Use image to 3D tool and select an image from your computer. As you can see, it cuts out from the inside. To fix it, check flip background and anti-aliasing to make the object smoother. Now scale it with key proportion option setting to 35 as X. Now rotate it by -90 on Z and Y axis. Move to 0 on Y and move it to one of the sides and scale again by 5.5 on Y. Use copy offset to create a copy and move the copy to the other side by inverting X. Now select all cylinders and invert the selection. Unselecting all profiles, move it a little. Then perform merge object to merge the colander solid. Then select the cylinders and apply difference, selecting an object with cylinder in the drop down.